Self. Friends, welcome you to day 3, the concluding day of the Tech Conclave 2020. In fact, a lot of positive feedbacks we have got. Thanks for the feedback. And I must thank the speakers who have given us a feast of knowledge for the last 2 days. The saga continues for day 3. Today we are joining CA Manish Naramdio, who is going to take us through the challenges or the difficulties in this digital era. In fact, we did face some challenges yesterday. Thankfully, we overcame that. And I'm very sure any challenges, what comes to us, will take through. And I recall what Sakait yesterday said that, it is kind of providing solutions to all that is needed, trying to understand what somebody needs. And in this digital era, technology is the most used. And we have been discussing this quite long. And without much ado, to see that we give more time to the speaker, I'll request Abhishek to introduce the speaker and we hand over the session to the speaker. Abhishek, over to you, please.
Thank you. A very, very warm good afternoon to all the participants who have joined in today. Good afternoon to our dynamic chairman, CA Dungachan Jain, who is joining us live from Madurai. And of course, our speaker for the day, CA Manish Naramdio sir, who is joining us live from Bengaluru. I have the privilege of introducing the speaker on a very, very important topic. And the topic time we have given him is 1 hour, but it's a very important topic that we can talk for hours together. So I'm going to keep the profile very, very brief so that I give more time to the speaker. He is a chartered accountant and currently is the Director of Finance in HP Computing and Printing Systems in India. He is a Bachelor of Science and also a Diploma in Business Administration and Marketing. He has a pretty robust experience working with some of the biggest names in India, including Bridgestone, Electrolux, Colt India, General Electric, and of course, now he is working with HP. He's a true leader. He's got a very, very unique management style. He loves to engage, he loves to educate and elevate. And of course, his passion involves playing golf and fitness. I think that you can tell by the very fact that he is standing and walking around and speaking. It's a very, very unique style. And that goes to Manish Naram, sir. So thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule and taking time to address our members today, sir. We welcome you and we're looking forward to your session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. So let me start presenting, right, Abhishek? Over to me, right? Okay, so what I will do, guys, I just stop my video so that I will kind of save some bandwidth and will share my presentation for the day. And let me share. So you guys can confirm me whether you can see. Fantastic. Okay, just give me another second and then we will be rolling. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jen sir. Thank you, Abhishek. Wonderful present, kind of introduction. I'm very humble to listen all this. Guys, I'm literally working for last 23 years and I worked in the various organizations as called out by Abhishek. And I worked in the various cities in the country. And I'm very fortunate to being invited for sharing my thoughts and opinion on a very interesting subject, which is emerging challenges in digital era. And before you guys joined in, I was talking to Abhishek, is like, he's in Chennai, right? So I said the topic is just like a Chennai Sea, right? You don't know where it starts and where it ends, right? So what I'm going to do today is, I will talk to you in terms of my own personal experience, how do I see this, digital era. So good evening, and it is a pretty bright and breezy Sunday evening here in Bangalore. And I'm talking to you guys from the balcony of my apartment, and I'm on 7th floor. And nowadays, this balcony is my office, which is a very fantastic example of how we are in the digital world. Due to pandemic situation, we are not, attending our offices for last 5-6 months almost. So I have a very special office place, and my colleagues, they keep kind of teasing me that probably your wife and kids might have pushed you out, and which is literally is happening with me. My wife, she is working, both the kids are in class, so everyone wants their own kind of a personal space, which is also challenge under the digital era, because when you are there, everyone wants to have a personal space so that you can't listen or hear their digital content, what is going through, right? So I found an interesting place, a balcony over here. Most of the time I'm here. The negative side of it is that I started tanning while I'm in the balcony. And guys who join in from Bangalore, probably they can very well understand that in Bangalore you can see all the three seasons in one day, right? Morning it will be pretty little chill, then it is hot in the afternoon, and evening it will be rain. So good. Let me start rolling, right? Thank you. And welcome to the third and final day of the Tech Conclave 2020. I heard a lot of feedback. I know that the first two sessions of the conclave was engaging and extremely informative indeed, right? And I'm sure you guys would have, kind of enjoyed this session. 2 days, 6 session, fantastic. I think that was all credit goes to the entire team who kind of put up this wonderful thought to have a conclave, digital conclave. Before I start, this presentation, I would like to have one important disclaimer. Especially in the digital era, this is important, right? That this is a personal presentation, and the content and the presentation of the presentation express my personal views and the thoughts on the topic. There are few videos or charts and pictures in the presentation, which I have sourced from the internet and are available for the use of anyone in general. Okay, so let's continue the spirit of learning. Guys, what is digital era, right? I'm sure you guys must be hearing many big buzzword like Industry 4.0, IoT. Couple of this, short form. I keep wondering, and I need to remember this. I'm little confused when somebody say IoT, AI, VR, ML. So I don't know. It is a machine learning or maternity leave or maybe what. I don't know what all kind of a combination. AI is artificial intelligence. They say. So I have my elder kid who is in 11th grade. He's the one who is pretty tech savvy, and he keep talking about this. Nowadays, we have a cloud computing, quantum computing. A day when I was, talking to my, I was watching a movie with my elder son. I hope you guys would have seen this Infinity War, right? When they are talking about quantum physics, and I was trying to relate, guys, what is this quantum physics and what is this quantum computing? But these are all the various words: digital workplace, agile working, cyber security, and so on, net neutrality, chatbots. I think nowadays, whenever you log into any, any website, maybe any banking portal, you see a pop-up coming right at the bottom of the window, right-hand side, and say, "Oh, I am a artificial intelligent bot, and can I help you?" Right? Robotics and pretty recently is blockchain, and this is like a pretty interesting subject for all of us who are precisely chartered accountants, right? But to be frank with you guys, I feel nowadays these words are used as fill in the gap word. Whenever you are running short of words, I think people start filling this in. And don't get me wrong that I'm kind of I'm against or for of digital era, but this is what I've kind of experiencing, that people are using this word as the fill in the gap word. And you got it right. I'm a firm believer of sense and simplicity. And hence, in this session, I will be sharing with you my thoughts and perception from my life experience on this topic. And I would like to keep this presentation as much as possible a jargon-free session, right? So I want you guys to provide me with this. Let me move to the next slide. I want you guys to provide me a simple opinion poll, right? So that we can see how are we, what are your thoughts with respect to digital era. I think this is the first time we are testing. This is what I came to know from Abhishek sir, that we are testing this first time. So you may see this one. I'm gonna start a digital poll right over here. You guys will see a poll flashing on your screen. Just give me a minute. Okay. So you guys will be getting a poll on your screen. What I would like you to do is to voice out your opinion in terms of where do you think you are in the process of digital transformation. I have listed 4 important normally kind of options. You can select one of them. The first one is I wish we were thinking about this. These, I mean, the people who are still in the age and trying to understand. Some are maybe can think that we are working through the changes. Very good. And the third one is that we have transformed. Interesting. 4 is digital what, right? The poll is open for 1 minute, guys. And what I'm going to do is keeping this open for another 17 seconds. I see 149 folks already kind of voted here. And let's see. Let's see another 3 seconds, guys. Okay, good. I'm just waiting for another voting last going on. Let's see. What do I see as a result? Okay, fantastic. I got around fantastic result. I see the results are like, let me share poll results so that you guys also can see. Do let me know when you can see this, right? There are a good number, around 57% of the population are voting that we are working through challenges. Okay, pretty impressive number. I think you guys are already into the next stage of the digital transformation, and I see a good 13% of the people we have transformed. Wow, very nice. I see one digital what. Okay, I think guys, this presentation is all about, at the end of the presentation, probably you will, when you will I ask you to again these 4 questions, you will probably see the changes in the your opinion, right? So let's get rolling good. Let me go back. Okay, so guys, what do I say here in the digital transformation? I would like to just compare. I hope you guys would have seen this very classical picture in terms of human evolution, right? This is like a very well known picture. I'm trying to put an analogy between a human evolution versus a digital evolution. As you know that human evolution was consisting of many stages, and many theories are there in behind human evolution, right? So is the case with the digital evolution. And in my opinion, in my personal opinion, the digital evolution in the field of business and commerce begin the day when we moved from let me pull out my pointer to tell you. When we moved from a manual accounting to computerized accounting, that is the first day probably when we have moved into the digital transformation or digital evolution, whatever you would like to say. And after that, today it is kind of an upgrade or transition to a higher level. And let me say why it is. From a manual record keeping to computerization was the first stage. We moved from that stage to the next stage, which we call more integrated accounting with the use of ERPs. And, you have multiple, I hope you would have seen, if you're auditor, you must have been using those technologies to audit. And if you are working somewhere in an organization, you must be, kind of experiencing all these ERPs, right? And now latest and greatest are the intelligent automation. And I called out these all in the beginning. Let me repeat all those for the sake of repetition. IoTs, AI, ML, RPA, to name a few. These, as per me, these are all intelligent automation, which are the next stage or the next upgradation to the higher level of the digital journey. Right? Looks fascinating, guys, right? The chart, pictures, and evolution, right? But I tell you, at the moment when someone asks you a question, hey, what are the challenges you see in digital era? The moment you see this question is staring at you, believe me, everything changes all of a sudden, right? And as according to me, this is a pretty simple question to answer, yet is very complex question. And I tell you why. Because the answer to this question, or if you want to do a kind of take a step back and try to understand the challenges, right? The answer will be a purely a personal answer. It all depends on the touch and feel of various constituent of the digital evolution. If you have experienced something, you probably will be saying, okay, it's not a challenge. Or if you're not, probably you will say it is a challenge. And all these things, maybe if you never tested a AI, probably you will find it. Or you never kind of develop a bot, or you're not experience a chat or window or whatever, you will say it is a little difficult, guys, for me to do. I'm very comfortable with my Excel and Word spreadsheet. So in my opinion, and as per my philosophy, right, basically, there are 3 dimensions of life. And I want to talk about I want to center my entire today's discussion around the 3 aspects of the life, of life. And these are primarily personal, professional, and social. And I will try to cover the impact of digitalization on 3 aspects of life. Very interesting, this, if you see all these 3, personal, professional, and the social aspect, they are converging to each other. Sometimes they are overlapping. However, most of the time these 3 aspects are very much interconnected, and they influence and have a greater degree of impact on each other. It's just like a three bubbles you are putting into one big bubble. The moment one of them is kind of blowing up, you will see the other aspect will kind of going down, because the overall volume is still remaining same, right? And that is why I would like to say, due to this interesting interdependencies or relationship, it may so happen that for one of the aspect, the digital era or digital technology may be an opportunity, but it may become a challenge in another aspect. And let me give you one example. For last 5-6 months, we are all going through this pandemic situation, and we are all working from home, keeping a social distance, and trying to wear mask and sanitize and everything. Guys, do you think the laptop and mobile which we were using, or which we were kind of, some of our folks may be thinking that when laptop is there with you in the office, you are always connected, and your employer or your manager or your your principal is always asking, hey, can you get this job done, right? So you probably might be cursing that, why I have a laptop, better let me go to have a shift to desktop. As during this pandemic situation, these devices were your savior, and it helped us to support our professional deliverables from anywhere, anytime. And this helped us to keep ourselves safe, happy, and healthy at home. Good. I think a couple of you folks must be thinking, and I have a personal experience, right? The first week or fortnight of pandemic, the first lockdown, I literally, before my screen for 14 to 18 hours, and it has seriously impacted my physical and social well-being. So you see, this is an example wherein the digital equipment or digital technologies help you on the professional front, but you see that this was becoming a little challenging for you on a personal front. You were against your laptop, you're always connected. It was very difficult for you guys to switch off and switch on, when to stop and take a break. And over a period of time, probably you started learning the art of working from home, and managing the personal and the professional, as well as the social aspect of the life, right? So this is a very classical example which I have given you. Another example I would like to say, digital technologies are providing you, are making information instantly available for you. It is very empowering. Information is available. Take an example. If you want to travel, I mean, wrong example at this point in time, but if you want to travel from one place to other and you want to book the ticket, compare the era where you have some broker, you will go, whatever price he will tell you, you will go and buy the ticket and go on, right? Today, the moment you kind of open your search engine and try to find the fare, you will get multiple options available. This is called instant information available. It's empowering you to make a right decision. And it may be sometime you might say, why not I should travel Friday morning, early morning, instead of Thursday evening because it is still cheaper and I will reach to destination and able to attend this situation, my meetings, right? Good, it's helping you. But the flip side to it is that it's impacting the creativity and problem solving skills also. Example, when I was in 10th grade, probably Rubik's Cube was a kind of a thing like you might have seen nowadays people are using spinners and all those things. Right? Rubik's Cube was a very interesting toy for us, and we used to spend hours together to solve the Rubik's Cube. I have a 9-year-old boy here in my at my home, right? What he has done, he just Googled it, how to solve Rubik's Cube. And if you Google, you will find 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, all sort of a Rubik's Cube available in the market. You have a solution. 7 steps, guys. Within 7 steps, he is able to solve the Rubik's Cubes. Another example. Think of the situation when you are driving from one place to another and you don't have the GPS or the map or navigator, right? Those folks, or maybe you see your father or parents or your then still today, they know the all intersections of the road and they know how to reach what is the shortest route and where to reach. But today, with the moment you enter into your car, you have one beautiful voice who is, or he or she is navigating you to a place with all the precise left turn, right turn with the 50 meter, 30 meter. What is happening? This device is helping you on a personal front. You are actually empowered. You have the information. You can go to any place without fear. But this is leading to another problem on the personal front, that you lost the sense of direction. Where is the north? Where is the south? Right? Or you don't know the shortcut. You are dependent on the Google map to find a destination for you. Okay, so basically, guys, digitalization is impacting everyone, either directly or indirectly. We may or may not be, realizing the changes. But believe me, the more important here is the speed of change, and this is tremendous. What we used to envisage, or today also what you are envisaging to happen in next 2 decades, or probably happening in next 2 years. So with this, since there are 3 dimensions of the 3 dimension of life, let me just dive into the personal aspect of the life, right? Okay. We all know all the digital technologies, what I called out, they are all dynamic and continuously evolving. The technology which we might be using a few months before is no more relevant. We have the new technology coming up. So it is a continuously evolving digital environment, and it has significant impact on individual and individual's ecosystem, which include you, your family, your friends, and your dependents, right? Everyone around you, right? There are several aspects of the life. When I put the entire ecosystem at the center of this, many aspects, but let me talk about few of them based on my personal experience and from the conversation with my friends and colleagues. And what I'm doing here is trying to divide the house. On the right side of the house, you see there are certain challenges, which you see on your personal life, and there are certain benefits of the digital technologies on your personal life. The first come first is anxiety. And why do we see this? The anxiety is because most of the time when you are seeing all this happening around you, you will constantly ask a question, am I still relevant? Because somehow one of us or every one of us may be struggling with one or other tool or technology which is available to us. So we always think, am I still relevant? and more specifically in context of rapidly changing technologies. And it leads to the question of existence of my job, my profession, or my business, or whatever we are into, right? Guys, any project. Now I'm trying to take this to the next level. If digitalization is happening around you, there must be someone somewhere running a project, right? Maybe earlier you used to go to bank for withdrawing a cash. There was a teller. Now you have a ATM machine, right? So whenever this is happening, every project has to have a ROI, return on investment. And I mean, we are chartered accountant, we know, right? ROI is so important. We don't approve anything if I don't see any positive ROI on there. So if every project has to have a ROI, so is the case with digitalization. You may say, oh, there is a ATM. What is the impact on me? No, it is impact on the employee of the bank, right? It is also impacting you in one or other way. ROI means someone's role is impacted. And in last 5 to 6 months, due to pandemic, you are seeing the impact is multiplying. We have a fear. And the fear in this world is that I'm out on the, I'm missing the news, right? I'm missing what is happening around me. In previous days, probably you are pretty much contented when you used to read Times of India or Economics Times and everything. But now you have a fear. Are those physical paper enough for me to keep me updated? No. That is where what is happening today is that in the world, we are constantly updating our news feeds. We are reaching to reading blogs and all those content available on the internet, which is good. You are getting the information, but it is aiding to your anxiety. Your anxiety levels are going up slowly. The next two dimensions, distraction and dependencies or dependence, right? Digital evaluation has changed the rule. Personal relationship, business communication, and the way everyone uses their time. That is the perfect example of a distraction. Several people close to me, they have developed an addiction or near addiction to internet content. They prefer to interact with the people with others via electronic media, or then compared to face to face. I'm in a corporate world for so many years, right? And I still remember the 97 probably when first time I got a one email ID, right? Still we were trying to find what to do with this email ID. I know the person, there's a purchase guy, I need to get some information. I will just walk up to his desk and say, hey, can you give me this information? That was a face-to-face interaction. But if you see today, whether in office or in the personal connect or on the social connect, you are connecting with people through some or other electronic medium. A person sitting next to you, you need some information, you're dropping a mail to him. Can you send me this by end of day? You guys just go talk to him and ask him, can you give me? Probably you will get the information in a more meaningful way, because the content what you're sharing on the internet doesn't carry any emotion. It doesn't carry, it is just a information which is coming to you, but it doesn't carry, whether that is, when you talk to someone, you probably will realize, oh yeah, this information is, is kind of sharing with me, but I need to interpret it differently when I speak with that person. However, when we talked about, these challenges on the personal front, there are various beneficial impact of the digital technologies on your personal life. And some of them are here, like empowerment. What is empowerment? Empowerment is nothing but the things user can do themselves. A perfect example, again, I will take, right? My 11th grader boy, right? I haven't seen him. He just chosen this, accounting, maths, commerce, and economics, right? Almost 6 months. He never reached out to me for asking any question and, hey, Papa, can you explain me GST? GST is a complicated topic. Yeah, it's topic, right? But he never reached out to me. Why? Because what he has to do is to just go on Google and type GST or materials and the pages and the explanation and accounting and all those written everywhere. That is how the empowerment is. Everything that gives user, and this is what is giving them the autonomy, and everything that gives users autonomy to do things or to create things on their own gives a lot of independence. And this is, the independence is nothing but it empowers you, and because you have a lot of information at your disposal, right? Speed. The speed is nothing but things that are done quickly. And I've already given an example, right? Booking a air ticket, right? You just, whenever you want, you just go log into the machine and you can book the ticket instead of waiting for office to be open, right? That is called speed. Everything that gives user autonomy to do things, or sorry, the speed drives the decision making. A user with the availability of information is now more fast, can solve the problem faster, and it is a fundamental characteristic in the digital age. It is helping you to do the things in a much faster way, and that is what gives you a lot of confidence along with the empowerment. And guys, do you realize that with the advent of technologies, right? Now there is no physical boundaries or borders, right? Digital evolution sees no physical borders, right? Communication between people and companies or with your loved ones are radically changed with the arrival of digital world, right? We have multiple platforms for communication, and there is no cost. You can talk to your colleagues, your friends sitting in any part of the world. Compared to, probably some of you may relate the world where you need to do the trunk calls, how costly it was, or maybe when you do that and it is like you have to wait for some hour. Now you have a mobile device that you just pick up you have a lot of face calling application available on your mobile. That is what the physical boundary. Practically anyone today can do anything from anywhere as long as he or she is connected to internet. But this is the right interest, stop for me to ask you guys another question. And this is also pretty interesting question. I'm sure when I will see the results of these polls, probably it will throw me a very interesting. Wow. And guys, remember, Alexa is also internet connected devices, huh? So don't forget about Alexa. Good. Very nice. I see 34 people responded. Guys, please, I think we have around 100 and not started. We have around 179 folks in the webinar, and I encourage you guys, because this all information will help me to connect back when I'm moving forward on my presentation. So I encourage all of you to just share your opinion. Last 15 seconds to go, guys. Come on. Okay. Good. So let me share the opinion poll results with you. Not opinion poll, sorry guys. Yep. 67 are responses. You are saying 2 to 4 devices. 3 to, okay. 42% of 2 to 4 devices. 34 people, the 34 participants have 5 to 9 devices. We have 3 participants out of 67 who got more than 15 devices. Amazing. Wow. See, this is what the impact of digital era, right? You have the devices, you have the multiple, you may be having a, you name it, everything is now connected. And you go and you find you have the smart home, probably you can turn off your lights sitting anywhere, or, probably if you go on internet, you find you, while you're 100 meters away from your vehicle, you can turn it on. The smart devices there, your air con will be started, right? So you are entering a car with the perfect temperature, what you like. Good. Thank you guys for the responses. Let me just move to the next session on this. So while we see there are a good amount of penetration with respect to internet connected devices, guys, like I would like to touch and jump into the social aspect of the life. Okay. I came across with few important facts which drives the impact on society and social life. The top part of the chart is nothing but the 9 pillars of digital India. Any government for any country, today they are driving, they have a specialized core team who are responsible for ensuring the digital adoption for their country. And that is what you are seeing for our country also. There are 9 pillars of digital evaluation or digital adoption. And these 9 pillars are pretty interesting pillar. Broadband highway, e-Kranti, information for all, e-governance. These are very interesting. Early harvest program, IT for jobs. These are very, very, very interesting program which our government of India is rolled out. And I'm sure one or other way we might have been touched by this. Couple of examples. Aadhaar card. You can change your photos, you can change your address without visiting to any center, unlike the ration card, right? Or maybe GST. We are in the world wherein information is updated online. You need not to go and file your returns. And recently, government also announced this faceless assessments, right? So this is what digital impact. For any company, organization, or society for that matter, if you really want to see the success of this, and guys, this is dependent on us. We are part of a society. If we want to understand the impact of, or we want to take this to the next stage, there are 2 fundamental drivers for this. One of them is the usage of the devices, whether you have the availability of this. You see the statistics available. This is like a NSO did this study, and the results are available online. You can go and see this, right? We talk about so many. You've seen in the opinion poll, right? We have the members who got a 4, 6, 8 devices. Do you see this? Access to computers. Rural 4%. Urban is still 23%, right? Students with internet connection 15%, 42% in urban. Okay, this is okay, but see the whether they can operate a computer or not. And the survey was targeted for the age group between 15 to 29, which says that for the rural places, only 24% of the population, they know how to operate a computer. Urban is also not too great, 56, we talk about that, right? So technology can help you as long as you know how to use it, as long as you have access to the technology, right? And at the center of it also depend on the literacy, the education, or the knowledge about those things. We are doing pretty good in India, right? The literacy rate all over India is 77%, urban 87, and rural is neck to neck. So these are very important dimensions, are the facts and figures available in front of us. And this will help me to talk more about the impact of digital and digital technology on the social aspect of the social aspect of life, right? Sure, you might have seen this Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? There are 5 tiers: physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness, love and love needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. But if I see, and if I try to connect the dots from the previous polls, right, it is pretty apparent now that the gap between the rich and poor is surfacing. And I'm not trying to go to the charity side of the house. What I'm trying to say is if you see things around you, what is happening, you may have a couple of helpers coming at your home, right? And while the government of our government have provided 10% quota for EWS, right? As long as there were offline schools were there, they were able to attend and go this. But what is happening to those kids now? Today, they are struggling. They don't have a single device to attend digital classes, right? Well, I say I have got 2 kids, right? 2 boys, right? I have 3 machines in between two, just to ensure that if one of is not working, at least they are not missing. So this is what is showing the disparity. And the positive side of digital or technology is if we want, we can use digital technologies for a larger community reach. We can reach pretty easily. We try to understand what is happening and support the organization. Another benefit of digital technologies on your life is the engagement with technology. It is starting pretty early, right, guys? I told you my 9-year-old boy started using, right? The pretty early technology adoption they are going through. But it also lead to a problem of increased isolation. They are most of the time they are hooked onto one or other digital devices. Their physical activities are reduced. And guys, I told the 3 dimension of life: personal, professional, and social. The guys are the kids are probably is a beneficial from them for them to use all this digital technology. But you see the social aspect, they may not be knowing a kid right next door. That is what I call increased isolation, right? One interesting fact about the impact of digital technologies: lack of privacy. And I go back to my example. If suppose you have booked a ticket from Bangalore to Chennai, right? Tonight you book the ticket. Next morning you log into Google again. You will see the advertisement flashing, which will talk about the hotel prices or the food, the chains or the local transport availability, how it is there, or the maybe sometime temperature of Chennai. How? You never said to anyone, right? This is what the artificial intelligence, this is what the machine learning they are using, or this is what I would say the rules what they have set up, and they track you. Literally, we don't have any privacy. Alexa, I called out here, right? Alexa is always connected to internet, listening whatever you're talking. I don't know how they are using this information. So guys, for me, the impact on digital technology is very, very far reaching. It is both on the positive side, on negative side. People who are still on the different layers of the hierarchy, they are using it to their benefit. Like a safety need, everyone was looking for a job. Yeah, earlier finding a job, you had to go and get yourself registered to that employment office. Today, you just go to internet, you can find it helping you, right? What is happening today? We don't understand what we can trust anymore today. This is a classical example. I don't want to, I'm not biased about anything, but just see the general, you turn on TV, you say multiple news channels. Each channel is talking about same incident, but have a different opinion about the incidents, right? So it's very difficult for us to understand or find what is trustworthy, right? This is what I would call out as a impact of digital technologies on social life. Let me take a pause and I will roll out a video for you. So I hand it over to Selva to run a video for me.
Technology, its impact on your world of work. The world of work is constantly changing. 65% of children entering primary school today will be doing new jobs that don't yet exist. Technologies that haven't yet been invented will solve problems that aren't even problems yet. You are part of the fourth industrial revolution. Technology is changing quickly. It affects most things you do in life and will impact how you work in the future. What you think is modern and technologically advanced now might look old and slow in 5 to 10 years. Think about how the iPhone has changed over the last 10 years. So just imagine what the future...
Selva, if you're able to listen, the video is not working actually.
1 minute.
You can
Yeah,
play
it's not
the...
New roles are emerging.
No, not working.
moving. So this is a digital challenges what we are going through, guys.
1 minute. I'll give you the percent right, sir.
No problem. Okay. So
Selva, you want me to try?
Yes.
no worries, sir. Let me. No worries. I will share the this link with you guys.
Yeah.
Let me just touch
Manish,
upon
we'll
the.
just try. Selva, give me the presenter rights for a moment. Let me just try to from my screen.
Given, sir.
Yeah, just give me a moment. Let me see if we can pull from. Just let me know if the
world of work.
is it
The
fine?
world of work is constantly changing.
Yeah, it's there. Correct. We can see it now. Yeah.
Jobs that don't yet exist.
Can you put it on full screen
Yeah, I'm doing
and
that.
play it again? Yeah.
Problems that aren't even problems yet. You work. The world of work is constantly changing. 65% of children entering primary school today will be doing new jobs that don't yet exist. Technologies that haven't yet been invented will solve problems that aren't even problems yet. You are part of the fourth industrial revolution. Technology is changing quickly. It affects most things you do in life and will impact how you work in the future. What you think is modern and technologically advanced now might look old and slow in 5 to 10 years' time. Think about how the iPhone has changed over the last 10 years. So just imagine what the future of mobile technology could be. New roles are emerging all the time. Just think about the jobs of today that didn't exist 10 years ago. Jobs such as an app developer, social media consultant, and 3D printing engineer. Some of the tech predictions of the future include 10% of the world's population will be wearing clothes connected to the internet. By 2026, smart clothing will be available that changes color and shape and keeps you cool or warm. Artificial intelligence already exists among us in our everyday lives, and whilst they are predicted to take some human jobs, they still need humans to control and program them. Think about those in charge of controlling space robots, police robots, or controlling a robotic arm during surgery. In 15 years, some things AI and robots are expected to do include driving cars, shopping, and cooking for us. Some of the jobs we know today will be considered being high risk for future automation. Different and technical way. Remember, employees of the future need to know the things that AI cannot easily do. Critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and creativity. Some of the digital technology jobs that exist today include cybersecurity specialists, big data analysts, coders, and software engineers. Think, digital technology jobs are on the rise. Wales is playing its part at the cutting edge of new technology. The Academy of Robotics based at Aberystwyth University is aiming to have their driverless car go to deliver packages ready for testing in 2018. comparison creator in Cumbraun, is developing the latest software for leading comparison websites such as GoCompare and Confused.com. Opportunities to work in the digital sector in Wales will be expanding. The digital sector in the UK is creating jobs 2 times faster than jobs in the non-digital sector. These jobs are usually highly skilled and highly paid. The average advertised digital salary in the UK is £51,000. Yet 3 in 5 businesses are suffering a shortage of digital talent, and more than half say this talent gap is on the rise. Have a think. Would you like a career linked to the digital world?
That's it, sir.
Hey guys, today we are going to talk about technology, so let's start. But first, let's define technology.
Yeah, Manish, you can take over again. Selva, if you can just give him the rights.
Yes, I'm giving it, sir.
Maniji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Okay, guys. Technology.
You can take over, please.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So technology and technological glitches, right? So no worries. There are 3 important takeaways which I would like to share with you from this video, and I will encourage you guys to go and see this video on available on YouTube, right? The 2/3 of children entering primary school today will be doing new jobs that don't yet exist. We don't know what job they're going to do, right? But they will be. 10% of the world population will be very close connected to internet. Today we have the wearables, which is mobile and or maybe smartwatches and other thing, but the technology is expected to grow to next level, right? And more important, which is a very interesting fact for me, is that 3 in 5 businesses are suffering and shortage of digital talent. And I'm also one of the one of the part of this business. We normally now, when we try to look for what kind of a people I need, we have changed the way we do the fitment analysis and try to see whether the person has got a scalability or inclination towards the digital. So a good video. It will help me to take me to the next session, which is digital technology and its impact on professional era. This is a very interesting, as I called out in the beginning, right? The on the personal impact of digital on the personal life. There are various aspects of the life. Similarly, you have the different facets of the in the professional life as well, right? I'm going to talk about a couple of them here on the professional front. The first thing when you are in this kind of environment, right, you will see the complexities are growing, and it is growing because there are multiple new tools are getting introduced. Every other day, some or other new tools are getting introduced. The system on which you are working is a multiple systems is layered on each other. You may be finding it is reducing productivity because you're trying to understand which solution you want to use for what problem, right? And to handle the complexity, I think it is very important in any organization or that you need to have a mindset shift. We need to create a culture of mindset, which allow you to shift the mindset. And what I mean to say here is that organization is consist of people, right from top to bottom. If everyone is aligned to have a growth mindset, that will help the organization to provide the courage to fail, because these technologies are the technologies which may work for you, may not work for you. But if you first bring the culture of technology adoption, right? And you should encourage the courage to fail. Then only you will be successful in your professional life. You have multiple challenges in the digital era, right? And to do this, you need to have the inclination to change course. When I say change course means you need to learn from the failure. Not all the project in our organization may be, yielding the result what we look for, but at least have the courage to do something. If you fail, learn from the failures and have the inclination to change the course. Okay, this is not working. Let me move to this different. That is what the digital very important capability you need to have, or the culture you should have in your organization. And once you attain that, once you are able to drive your organization to that mindset, right? The next in the row comes the digital capability. The same set of resources, including you need to find the skills, or you need to learn or adopt the new attributes to thrive in the digital world. And it starts from you, right? As I was talking about in the personal front, you are the center of it, right? So at the center of epicenter, right, can become to do the changes, right? So you need to ensure that you develop, you provide the skills, you focus on the developing your organization to a level, and the capabilities are being provided to them, and they thrive in the digital world. These capabilities are very easy, right? Like say, for example, if there is a earlier you used to send a request through email, can we have a workflow mechanism? Obviously, it was very convenient for you to read the mail and solve the problem, but when the moment you have the workflow installed and you are adopting the workflow, every request is kind of coming through a very structured channel, and you can actually slice and dice the information. You can define how much time do I spend on this kind of a request. So this is the positive side, but the negative side is also people may think, and that is where I am saying mindset shift is important. People may think, okay, you are trying to assess how much time I spend on my work. So first thing first, for any complexity, you need to shift the mind. You need to have the mindset shift, and then develop your skills, digital skills in the organization. There are multiple digital skills. There are n numbers of program you can go on online. You need to find what fits to your organization. And that is where, when you want to find what fits to your organization, is nothing but the agile innovation. The agile innovation is nothing but innovation which freeing resources and to innovate the processes. The innovation should not be restraining. Innovation should help you to rethink, reimagining, and recreating the things what you are doing. If you cover these four aspects, the next in the row is the digital adoption, leveraging technology to drive innovation and optimization. I give you one example. You guys would have experience in this: robotics. It started somewhere, I think 4 or 5 years before. When the robotics came into play, there were big players who were talking about all this. As simple as when they came and started showing that you can now post your manual GE through robotics. Anything which is repetitive, anything which for any task which you can kind of define at keystroke level, it can be done by robotic, right? Obviously, when this all information comes to your organization, you will see a wall being created. People start thinking, "Oh, my job is gone. This thing will change my, take away my job. What I will do if these transactions are getting posted by robotics, right?" If you have covered the 3 sections before this, which is change in mindset, you kind of evolve them, level up them to the skills of the future, kind of done. They move to and the innovation is more agile. Probably adaptation will become much easy for you. And I have experienced this. The same set of folks who were not so very much comfortable with the robotics, they learn how to define, how to program a robot. They also learn to run the program by themselves. In the video also, you see, they were talking about that. Think about a person when we talk about the surgery, robotic surgery, right? You still need a person who can monitor those robo arms, right? So same set of folks, they learn the techniques, they started developing, and in fact, now we are in the stage where we are decommissioning the robots because we are thinking now we can kind of optimize. And for doing this, I think it is very important for you have to create the culture of inclusion. When I say culture of inclusion here means you should have an organization chart wherein the manager the chart will showing you the people reporting in, as well as you will say, oh, I have a 10 robots also reporting into me, right? You have a 10 robots at your disposal. So that is called a digital organization chart in digital era, when the people and robots are part of your organization. That is a shift. But understand, guys, the core of all this in the business world is the people and the experience of the people. The critical success factor in a professional life is always the people and the process. We need to find technologies that enable to be more productive, to be more effective, and to be more efficient. And if you put these three together in a box, it is nothing but essentially it is nothing but a business transformation. For transforming your organization, business, or your profession, what is important? The most important thing is that you should have the strategies, because strategies create competitive advantages. And you need to have a digital strategies which are aligned to your business strategies. And the second, once you have the strategies available, which will give you competitive advantage, then you need to have a people and culture of innovation, because this culture is the one thing which sustain the process. And finally, the technologies. What I have been talking about so far, digital era is nothing but it is kind of a very complex world of various technology putting together. The technologies and communication is the mean by which you deliver your strategy. So guys, use these digital technologies for the benefit of you on a personal, professional, and social front. And remember, the rate of adoption is the real transformation. It is not the volume or the types of technology or the multiple technologies what you want to do. Whatever technology you want to do, the faster you adopt the new age technology, that is what leads to the real adoption. So with this, I think I'm coming at the end of my presentation. But before I leave you guys, let me see. This is what so far I've shared my opinion on the impact of digital era on various aspects of life. Let me have one more opinion and check. What do you think the digital what do you think whether the digital era is creating an opportunity for you, or a challenge for you, or both of the above? So I just open the poll for 1 minute and let me see how you're responding, guys. We have 191 folks in the webinar. I'm expecting at least for this. Let's have the 100% polling, guys. Come on. Last 30 seconds, guys. 55 participants only. Come on, let's cross 100 marks this time. Yes, moving good. 65. 7, 9. Yeah. Come on. Another 20 seconds, guys. Let's cross 100. We are at 75. 25 more, guys. Come on. Last 10 seconds. 77. Good. 78. Very nice. 9. 81. Okay, fantastic. Let me share poll results with you. Very interesting poll results, right? Both, I think I have a maximum around 71% of the participants are saying this is both in terms of opportunity as well as challenge. Good. Fantastic, guys. I think you are understanding what is going on in this space. And I would like to just end my session with this and move to the next slide. Guys, this is an era wherein you need to get comfortable, inspired, motivated by whatever changes, continuous changes going through, in and around your atmosphere. Couple of examples which are very, prominent over here. In past, you're the telephone, now you're the mobile devices. You used to go physical shopping, now you're the online shopping. You used to read the maps, now you're the GPS devices. You were typewriters. It's very interesting. Future, we don't know. And that is why my takeaway for you guys, and what is this, how I, kind of survive in this organization, I live in the present to envision the future. So guys, thank you for listening to me, and thank you, Jensa, for giving me this opportunity to share my personal experiences on this topic. Over to you. Hello?
Chairman, you are muted.
Yeah, thank you, Manishji. That was an excellent. We have just 2-3 questions which we will take it up, though I think we have overshot the time by a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hello, if you can just give me the presenter rights. Yeah, Manishji, we will go for a quick answers on this.
Yep.
First question: the GPS is pouring out information and instructions of left and right, 100 meters, 50 meters, etc. As you rightly said, man is losing the sense of direction, lesser use of brain. How do we call it empowerment, or is it enslavement?
Abhishek, do you able to hear the question? Is it pretty? You're breaking a lot.
Okay, are you able to see it on the screen?
I can see the screen. Yeah, I can see the screen.
Yeah.
I can see the screen. As you rightly said, man is losing the sense of direction. Lesser use of brain system, then how would we call it empowerment or enslavement? Okay, very good. See, empowerment doesn't mean that you are becoming a slave to some tool, right? When I say digital technologies are empowering you, I'll give you one example. It is pretty much applicable to all of us. When we go for audit, right? If we use the digital technology, and if I'm going to audit, say, for example, HP, and if you're coming to audit for HP, I think what you should be doing is first try to understand what is the market. How is HP's place in the market? What is the market share? These are the information pretty much widely available for you. And when you're coming to audit HP, probably you should come and ask for the intelligent question rather than asking, I will go for a traditional sampling. That is what I call empowerment. Information provides you empowerment, but the right level of information at right point in time will always help you to find the right solution, what you are trying to do. Okay? May we have the average downtime of internet services as per survey on account of uncontrollable reasons. No, I think it is Subramanian. Subbu, I don't have this kind of a survey available, but this is pretty much dependent on where you are and who is the service provider and whether the tower is near to you is there or not, or maybe it is a power or something. So I haven't seen, but pretty interesting question, guys. I think I will try to find something on this. Also, contingency plan by the major internet enabling corporate to support the user from a risk perspective. It's a contingency plan from a major internet enabling corporate to support the user from a. I think this is a statement, not a question for me, right? You're right. Recently, I heard this. I'm not promoting anyone here, but I heard that Act Fiber Connect. If you are taking in, you are in the place where there is a power fluctuates a lot. I think you can use the Act Fiber cable directly plugged into your machine. You can still use your internet for at least 2 to 3 hours. So that is kind of an inbuilt. So that kind of technological advances are happening anywhere in the any industry, and I think we should start using those for the benefit of our job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Manish, you can switch on your video as we thank you.
Okay.
Abhishek, over to you where you can thank Manish.
Yeah, thank you so much, Manish sir. A truly excellent presentation. And in fact, the video was also really, really entertaining. I don't know where you found it, but it was an excellent video. And
Yeah.
I think it conveyed the future. And, seeing this sort of information is very rare for chartered accountants. We tend to not focus on those aspects. So when people like you bring it to light, I think definitely it gives us some more confidence in taking up these digital challenges. So thank you so much, Manish sir.
Thank you.
It was an excellent presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I think we have our next speaker also with us. Maulisha ma'am, are you available?
Yes, very much here.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So, Chairman, should I proceed to introduce our speaker?
We can dive into session 2 and you can introduce the speaker as we take things forward.
Great. Thank you very much, Chairman. So now we'll proceed to the next session, and I have the privilege of introducing the speaker. This is a BCom graduate from Mumbai University and was also finished as CISA, CHFI, ECSA, CEH, CEI, ECSP, ISO 27001, diploma in cyber law, and various other courses as well. In fact, she is currently an information security practitioner and trainer and vulnerability assessment and penetration testing expert. She has delivered lots of trainings and performed various assessments for leading corporates across the world. And she has consistently impressed her clients with her ability to think out of the box and creatively attack these solutions with applications. She is well versed in all the necessary standards and formula that's required for this, and is a specialist in diploma in cyber law. So this is only a brief summary of her presentations and what she's been doing. She is someone with extensive qualifications and extensive knowledge and various projects as well to her credit. I welcome you, Mauli ma'am. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here with our members today.
Thank you. The pleasure is always mine. So let's start deep dive into digital forensics after, I think, a lovely presentation by Mr. Manish about the digital era. I hope my presentation highlights certain points of what exactly is digital forensics and how, what do we do basically when we get a fraud or, incidents to be responding or to investigate. So let's straight away just dive into that. Right. Is my screen viewable?
Yeah, you can go for full screen. It is visible. Yeah, it's on.
Right on. So I'll be starting with a case study whereby we typically will be touching upon a certain aspect of digital forensics and how the case has, helped, or what exactly, we look forward today in terms of digital forensics. The case was, it was still date considered the biggest. Here the term hack, attack, compromise a hell of a lot, and especially when it comes to credit. This case also is related to the card industry. It was a case in the US. More than 200 million credit card numbers were stolen. Now, for attacker, card information is predominantly very easily available to attack the information, that I would say. Basically, it's more of, known data, like 15 digits of the card, the 3 digits of the CVV, the 4 digits of expiration date. All this is predictable data. Known and predictable data that they tend to attack. In this particular scenario, it was more than 200 million card information data that had been compromised. Who was attacked? It was a payment system and 3 of the leading retail stores. Like I would per se say that my forte is technical assessment, penetration testing, and digital forensics. The gentleman who attacked these facilities proclaimed that his specialization was POS, point of systems, point of sale. He attacked very methodically and very systematically all these 4 entities: Heartland Payment Systems, 7-Eleven, TJX, and Hannaford. Heartland Payment System is a payment aggregator. Now, would mean that it would have the most or the maximum of the data when it comes to card information, because it is a collaborator for the gateway as well as the bank providing the card. So Heartland Payments itself lost more than 130 million card information. Now, if we take a moment to think that if at all, each of the information, card number, card information that this person stole contained a minimum, then how much are we speaking about in terms of volume? More than 200 million in a span of 18 months. So this gentleman, along with his team, was able to steal information worth millions in a span of mere 18 months. I would say hundreds of millions. It took a decade for Infosys to reach 1 million, and it took 18 months for this gentleman to reach the mark of more than 200 million. Very methodically, he would visit the retail stores. He divided his attack into 2 phases. The first phase being the physical phase. He would visit these stores, get an understanding of the systems, their physical stores over there. In a world, it is very critical that we understand how minutely the working of each and every system is in order A, secure, or B, attack. So what this gentleman did was he would understand these systems and use the same understanding to attack the system. Now he knew that he needed the information of 16 digits of the card number, 4 digits of the expiration date, and 3 digits of the CVV. Now, any retail, typically we see that there is a section IT personnel only, or for authorized people only. We do not typically go inside and see what these stores or what this space is offering. If we at all go and see, we see the servers which are processing the payment systems. The payment systems that are there at the data is then transferred to these servers, local servers, and later on pushed to the cloud. So what this gentleman did was he would tap the data flowing from the cache to the local server and sniff it or capture it and store it onto his system. To do this, he had to physically be present at the facility. Now, every day, Just a second. Even if the person is going there alternate days, or 3 days in a week or 2 days in a week, chances of a red flag whenever you're going physical is much more higher. Why? Because one point of time someone would in the parking lot with a cantina which is capturing or amplifying the Wi-Fi signals and sitting idly over there for hours. So that would raise a red flag. Counter this, people would ask, okay, we need an OTP. How could just mere card data help the attacker? Well, I would like to highlight over here that OTP, our one-time passwords, are valid only on the Indian grounds. Outside India, the OTP stops functioning. You may try out the same with Google Pay, or you may try out with any of the non-Indian web applications. They do not ask for OTP. All you need is, all these applications need is the card, primary card data, that is the 16-digit card information, the 4 digits expiration, and 3 digits of CVV, which they store securely per se, for our peace of mind. So what this person did, coming back to the case, what this person did was he would physically visit the store as his phase 1, capture as much as card information as he could without raising any red flags. That he would launch his phase 2. Now phase 2 was to compromise or attack the virtual or digital world, as we term it as. Each of this facility had a application. Now, like in the previous session, Mr. Manish said that we initially used to go to the stores physically, but now everything is online. Our shops are online. So definitely online, the traffic, the internet, or the digital data traffic is much more as compared to any physical store. So the amount or the amount of the information that the individual captured through this online or the virtual applications was much more as compared to his physical, modus operandi was the same. He found a vulnerability, a weakness known as injection, injected his own malware, which would sniff 16, 4, and 3, that is the card information, and at random given date of time would push this data to 5 of his different locations, different servers. So it was kind of a multinational crime that was being organized. He had his servers in Latvia, Netherlands, Ukraine, California, and New Jersey. Located servers. Why? Because in the digital world, the data is, or your law is only followed as the land of the law in which the data resides. Hence, nowadays we are hearing a lot of Data Privacy Act, a lot of GDPR coming into picture, whereby nationals are, insisting on having the data, the residential data, that is the residence data within their land itself. So coming back to the case, this gentleman had his data transferred into 5 different locations, strategic locations. Why? Because these locations did not have fortified IT or cyber laws, stringent cyber laws. 9 out of 10 attacks that we investigate, compromises we investigate, lead us to one location, which is the hacking street in Netherlands. There's a street which is known as the hacking street. So we lead 9 out of 10 of our investigations drop us over there. And yes, then we leave it to the local authorities for the further investigations, but we do not expect much of the, results. So this guy had very strategically chosen his data storage places and would then hide his tracks. Hide his tracks means wipe off the data. So now comes the question is that how is it that we know so much if he was hiding his data? Come into this picture. So far I have only been speaking about the hack, the attack. So where does my role or our role come into the picture? Our role comes into the picture when, or rather I would say with what he did with this information. He could have used this information. Again, if he would have used this information, it would have straight away led it to him. Per se, if I am to steal card information and I use that card information, definitely my digital tracks would lead back to me no matter what I do. But what he did was he sold this information. More than 200 million of card information, the card numbers, card data was, sold in the black market. Black market, or what a more known name like we know it as, the dark web. So that's where this data was sold, and he got a very good price as compared to the risk that he would have had if he had to make use of this data. What did or what do people do when they buy this data? Well, statistics say that, the card duplicacy market is twice as big as the card industry itself. So we need not get much, because nowadays we all receive various messages, various calls regarding, oh, you want a credit card, this is the, you just, or calling from Paytm or XYZ wallet, and we would, need your card details for, validating or validation purposes. So various ways and means people are using, ways and means people are using for, extracting card information. Our gentleman used the POS as well as his online, or I would say the digital compromisation of the application. Coming back to digital forensics, now once this data was sold, definitely the people who bought this data made use of this data. And a vigilant user, a vigilant person who would go through the card bill, payment details, raised a query with the bank stating that the transaction on a particular date was not at all carried out by him. It is a fake transaction. Now, please keep in mind that unlike in India, where we get SMS alerts, we have OTPs. This case is of the US, where there are no OTPs and no alerts for card usage. So the usage would be tracked only through the bill that would be generated and is evaluated. The gentleman went to the bank. The bank carried out its own investigation and found that the transaction in question was indeed a fake transaction because the person had not carried out that transaction. And further, when they investigated, they got to know that his card information had been stolen from TJX application, and there were no traces of digital traces of him visiting TJX on that particular day on the set of the transaction. So from TJX's point of view, TJX itself carried out its own investigation and found that yes, the gentleman did not visit their application on the said day. How did they do that? They used something known as log analysis. We'll see what log analysis, or in just a bit when we discuss the types of digital forensics. So log analysis was carried out, which helped us rule out that A, the gentleman had visited TJX, B, conclude that TJX was the point of compromise. So further investigation was carried out on TJX servers, which led to them, highlighted the vulnerability of SQL injection, and in turn led us to the malware. On examining the malware, we found that the malware was contacting these 5 servers, and that's where the momentarily dead point or dead end was reached. All these 5 servers were typically bought under fake names. So that's where the dead end hit, we could not move further ahead. See to as to who the perpetrator was. But it so happens, human tendency. I abruptly or impromptu ask you to, fake something. Whatever you so that's when the team felt that okay, let's try out this angle. So the IP addresses where we reached a dead end combined the information that was related to the IP address, that is who owned that IP address. So we, on permuting and computing, permutation and combination, we found that there was 2 of the addresses which, if you permute and combine, would actually give us a physical address. So we went on, investigated those physical addresses and found that those physical addresses were none but of this person's teammates. Now, in lieu of a lesser term, the teammates ratted out the main mastermind, our attacker. Mr. Albert Gonzalez, who is currently very much behind bars, but is awaited by the leading information security professionals and I would say companies to be hired as their CISO in order to safeguard their system. I often have heard the term that to safeguard your treasure, it is best that you think like the attacker. Put yourself into the shoes of the attacker. So who best to safeguard your information other than a perpetrator. So yes, he's being watched and awaited eagerly to be grabbed on and be a information security officer of the organization. If you go to see, if you can see the screen, this case is nearly of a decade old, but still you would find that there are attackers who use this similar kind of modus operandi as Mr. Gonzalez's. And the best part was, still Gonzalez was caught. The phase one was never known at all. It was only the digital compromise that we knew about, and the phase one, that is his physical compromise, was known only once he was caught. It was a self-confession. So, in lieu of lesser term, he confessed to physically going around CJX, Hannaford, and 7-Eleven. As far as the impact is concerned for him, he is serving time. But what about the organizations that he compromised? CJX alone had to pay a 24 million to MasterCard, 41 to Visa, and a whopping 200 million as penalty. And these figures are after insurance. What insurance? The bank provides you a safety net, right? The bank says that fraudulent transactions up till an X amount would be covered. If a transaction is found to be a fraudulent transaction, then you need not worry. The bank, based on its investigation, will cover it. Now, where does that cover come from? That cover comes from the PCI DSS standard, which we would have heard about, the Payments Card Industry Data Security Standard, which typically the merchants have to comply with. Now, TJX was certified or complied to the PCI DSS standards, so they got the cover. 5 years down the line, Target was with the same modus operandi. The information that was stolen from Target was much less compared to what it was stolen from TJX. But Target had to pay double the penalty. Why? Because Target was not PCI DSS compliant. Target did not have the PCI DSS cover. At a security council of the payment card industry, what they did was this post attack coming into light, they immediately updated their standard version and they specifically combat or refrained from using open Wi-Fi networks. We get these open Wi-Fi networks in typically the public places, name say the railway stations, the airports, whereby we just have to latch on to these systems and we go about our using the internet as we use. So, we do not realize that since this public Wi-Fi, it is very easy for our data to be snipped. So we need to refrain from using certain applications on public Wi-Fi systems. So PCI, on its part, merchants from using something known as the WEP if they are transferring their card data from POS to the local server. It has to be it has to be WPA or WPA2, which is passphrases. So that is what the PCI DSS standard took the impact of it. TJX had it in terms of penalties, and the card providers, they had to reissue those cards which were compromised. So from the card user to the card provider, everyone had an impact for this hack. Every possible type of digital forensics analysis was carried out for this particular hack. Log analysis, disk analysis, that is carrying out the disk analysis of Mr. Albert Gonzalez to see what exact the damage had been done. Log analysis of the site servers, IP addresses, the internet analysis when it comes to the complainant, TJX, Hannaford and 7-Eleven's server analysis was carried out. So a variety of types of digital forensics analysis was carried out in this one single hack. The perpetrator took 18 months before he was caught, and the analyst took nearly around 9 months to, just a second. Hello.
Just give us a moment. We'll wait for the speaker to join again.
Hello.
Yeah, Moliji. Yes, please.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption.
No issues. Please carry on.
So, like I said, the complainant and every aspect of digital forensics, basically, we took care of for this particular case. I have been talking about forensics, digital forensics for quite some time. So, what exactly is digital forensics? It's a forensic science. I will not go right now currently into cyber crime. I will just take a few moments for us to, understand what forensics typically is. Just like how forensic science is, it deals with the questions of how, why, and when. Digital forensics is something that deals with the how, why, and when in the digital world. So how was the attack carried out, or how was the fraud carried out using the system? When was it carried out? Why was it carried out? Why to a certain aspect, for the simple reason because the zeros and ones will not give me a complete why. I need to understand the perpetrator in order to understand that why. So typically the why lies with these two terms that we see on the screen: cyber crime. Why is it that the cyber crimes are committed? What is it that motivates someone to carry out a cyber crime? But for that, we need to know what cyber crime typically is. So legally, the definition of cyber crime is that any illegal act which involves a computer, its system, or its application is a cyber crime. Motive being I need to carry out illegal acts. I cannot plead that, oh, I didn't know, it was accidental or it was unknown to. The crime needs to be intentional. I need to have a certain idea of what is going on. I'll take a small case over here just to elaborate on it. We do get calls from various mobile mobile companies saying that you have an XYZ plan from the X provider. We would provide you with a better plan. Would you want to join us? But they don't know your name, or they just know the mobile number and what plan is that is. How do they get this information from? Where is it, that they're getting this information? And is it a crime that they are committing? Yes, because A, this information is it is a sensitive personal information. B, they are using this information, bought out information, intentionally for their benefit. So, there is a gray area over here, but as per our IT Act and Section 43A, where sensitive personal information comes in, such a scenario is definitely considered as a crime if the owner of the information does not consent. So that's why wherever you see the terms and conditions, when we click on accept, we typically do not read those terms and conditions. We just accept them. That's where they say that, they could use the information provided for their survey or market purpose. In that case, it is not a crime. But if that is not provided, it is a crime. So what are the typical examples of cyber crimes? Theft of intellectual property. I intentionally damage the company networks. A financial fraud. Considering the current pandemic scenario, the cyber crime rates are going way too up. You would we hear every day that X fraud has been committed, or X company the data has been stolen, or Y organization has been compromised. A lot of organizations are concerned about their data too, that what will happen if the data is provided off-site. So a lot of thought process is going on considering the current pandemic scenario, where most of us are holed up in the houses and not physically face-to-face coming in. Another very known or utmost example is ransomware or planting of virus and worms, intentional planting of virus and worms. I would provide a PDF saying that it's the content of my session, and very craftily embed an executable which would encrypt your hard drive. Don't worry, sir, my PDF of the content contains only my contents and not any executable, so it's safe. So jokes apart, but this is how the ransomwares are typically installed on our systems. Intentional plantation of virus and worms. That is also an example of cyber crime. We do not typically report these so-called minuscule cyber crimes, wherein we say, okay, my system was attacked via a virus. It's not a crime, we say, but technically, yes, it is a crime. Intentionally, the system has been infected or a virus had been planted. These are just a few of the examples of cybercrime. Coming back to the reasons of cybercrime, it could be that I am an enthusiast who wants to, prove that, okay, I know the digital world, a script kiddie who's seen a YouTube video and knows or has got to know how I can compromise my neighbor's Wi-Fi so that I don't have to use my Wi-Fi and my data is secured. Psychological need to prove to people that, I know something. Revenge or malicious reasons. I was out from the company due to wrong notions. I will take my revenge via, sabotaging the company. A lot of time we come across cases whereby system administrators, IT administrators, if they leave on a bad note, immediately we are called for and we are asked to go through each of the lines, each of their systems that they were adhering to eradicate any of such sabotages. And yes, espionage is the epitome of cybercrime, be it a corporate or a governmental espionage. There is no shortfall for, how innovative can our espionage can be carried out. As simple as a good morning WhatsApp message, an innocent looking WhatsApp good morning message could contain my organization's entire balance sheet, entire marketing data, entire sales strategy, something known as steganography. I could carry out an attack similar, a perpetrator could carry out an attack equivalent to 9/11 audacity by merely folding a $100 bill. So espionage is the epitome or, apex of any of the cyber crimes. Coming to what is the process for digital forensics or what is it that we do is in a very defined way, if I have to put it, it is like I say, it is like preservation, identification, extraction, interpretation and documentation of digital or computer evidence. If I have to step it out, it involves identification of where my digital evidence resides. It could reside on an as minuscule or as tiny as a pen drive, or as huge as a terabyte server. So where my digital evidence is residing. How do I intend to collect that evidence, keeping in the law of evidence in mind, so that I'm not tampering the evidence, or at least I have the minimum impact on the evidence. Digital evidence is highly volatile in nature. A simple flick, a switch on and off could make or ruin my evidence. It's that volatile in nature. So we've got to handle it with utmost care. The required documentation, something known as the chain of custody. Where or whom been handled, or who has handled the digital evidence. That is nothing but the chain of custody. Imaging, preserving this evidence. I take a forensically sound image of my evidence. My law of evidence does not allow me to analyze the digital evidence as is. So I have to create a copy of it. Now, when I do a simple Control A, Control C, Control V, I do not do justice to the data that has been deleted. So I do a bit by bit image, a bit by bit copy of the digital evidence. Examine, analyze. Now, various ways and means of analyzing this evidence. We start off with unearthing, that is undeleting the deleted data, to move on to steganography. If we find too much of photographs, we first go for steganography. Later on, we feel for, see if any cyber law has been violated, any company law that has been violated. What is, if it's a fraud investigation, then what the nature or the type of the fraud? Certain keywords which are front stream, as I call it, the auditors, investigative auditors give us. The keyword search analysis, file type analysis, all that analysis are carried out, and based on that, a report is prepared. Now, in digital forensics report or a digital forensics analysis, it is either a 0 or a 1, meaning a particular piece of information is either there or it is not there. There is nothing like, it could have been there. It could have been there, but an evidence is surely there that it has been erased, in that percent. So a report is prepared which is highlighted for technicality also, as well as to adhere to the non-technical personnel. So what all tools have been used, what was the entire process of imaging, how sound was the digital image there, is it admissible in the court of law or not? All that is present in the report. And finally, the evidence which is so well preserved is returned and taken into consideration, or made a note of in the chain of custody. Typically, the forensic driver, the forensic evidence that my analysts were working on, those are also returns to the organization along with the original digital evidence. That again depends on the various NDAs that we sign up for, So these are the typical steps that are, followed in a investigation process. Now, there are certain challenges that we face, when it comes to digital forensics. What are the challenges that we face? Basically, the timeliness, the moment incident or fraud or the need for digital investigation is highlighted, possibility or the chances are high that my digital evidence is corrupted. Like I said, I may use delete to delete an information. I may press shift to delete, thinking that I have erased the data completely. Not necessary. I can still retrieve that data. I cannot guarantee a full retrieve, but partial retrieve definitely possible. Depending on how or when the incident has taken place, A. B. Post that incident, how frequently was my evidence used? So these two are the key, I would say, showstoppers when it comes to digital forensics. Like I said, the data is abstracted. It is scattered up. Currently, we have another challenge that is, cloud, and it's a public cloud. So how do we get hold of that? Digital evidence is easily manipulated. All I need to do is, if I'm a smart perpetrator, I will simply overwrite my digital evidence multiple times with multimedia files. So if data is overwritten, the possibility or the chances of retrieval of that data is minimal. These are the typical challenges that we face as forensics analysts. Othering, or a lot of time people feel that, digital analysis, so we come with a wand and, something or the other we'll be able to provide. We try our best for that, but these challenges are critical and very much deciding factors for where our analysis would lead to. There are times when our analysis has opened up a complete different angle of investigation altogether. The digital evidence could point us to a completely opposite direction also. Not necessary that the investigation started from, X. My digital investigation would lead me into that direction only. It could lead me to a different path altogether, or could spin up altogether a new fraud. So while we are carrying out our analysis, we do not, or we only present what is there in front, rather than being, carrying out or being more judgmental is what I would use the word over here. So challenges faced, yes. Challenges overcome to a certain extent, yes. Again, but as far as the digital evidence is concerned, if my evidence has been overwritten, that challenge I cannot overcome, because once the data is gone or it has been overwritten, I cannot do much in my power. I can only say that the data has been overwritten. So that's where my shortfalls come in. Right on? So with this, we come to an end of my presentation. I know that this is a hardcore technical subject. To the best of my ability, I have tried to, mellow down and use less of technical jargon, and hope it was enjoyable by all of us and did highlight a certain aspect to us.
Yes, Mauliji. I think you have given the prelude for digital forensics, where people can then take as a separate curriculum forward. There are few questions which we will take up.
Surely.
First question is Govind Raju wants to know, can you explain how the Twitter handle of our PM was hacked Were there any fines and penalties on Twitter? Were any data compromised?
Sir, could you please repeat the question? I lost out your Twitter handle.
Yeah. Can you explain how a Twitter handle of our PM was hacked? Were there any fines and penalties on Twitter? Were there any data compromised?
The matter is still being investigated, but typically I would address it in a non-committal format. I will tell you how the attacker could have done it, possibility. Definitely, once the things come to highlight, we'll get a better picture. But typically, how a Twitter account or a Twitter handle can be attacked or compromised is, if we recollect, typically anything that we have to get in, it's basically from, username and password. That's why we emphasize more on password or passphrase. Passphrases or passwords or my authentication mechanism plays a very vital role in any of our, be it a Twitter or be it your any account for that matter. So the key over here for the handle or for account non-compromised is your authentication or your passphrases or your password. I could have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, a guessable password. I could have a complex password whereby I write that down and stick it onto my computer. I could have a blend of both. Now, when it comes to penalties, yes, there are fines and penalties. Once the entire attack is investigated and once the attacker or the perpetrator is found, the penalties would be put on that. If the investigation leads that there was a flaw or something was compromised at the end of Twitter will be separately investigated and could possibly be lead, could lead to penalty or a fine. And we cannot surely say that the data has been compromised. Whatever the results are, whether X amount of data has been compromised, typically that figure is only the PR figure. The actual figures are something different. I will just answer this question in that manner. Yes.
Yeah, you have answered the second part also. This is the person who asked whether the password was weak, you have already answered it. Next is, please bring us on the readiness of our country to safeguard from the cybercrime of neighbor countries.
From the cybercrime of the we often say that whatever happens on the land, my digital world automatically picks that up. Per se, if something happens on the LAK, the northern is, and something which happens on the LOC, the left western frontier is pretty active. So yes, when it comes to the readiness part, it is, I would say security is a myth. 100% security is a myth. I am as secure as perceived to be secure. I can be paranoid. I can have 10 roadblocks, but those 10 roadblocks are only going to give me that much of time frame to build up further roadblocks, considering if the first roadblock is has fallen. So digital or cyber safeguardingness is an ongoing, it's a continual process. I cannot say that the country is ready, nor can I say the country is not ready, because day in, day out, cyber specialists are working to safeguard this information. With every day we moving more towards the digital era, the laws, or I would say the need for stringent laws are also coming in place. That's why we are pinning our hopes on the Data Privacy Act, to be materialized. Yeah, and briefly, it's time for. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
we
guess
have a
that
last one.
addresses. Yeah.
What qualification will you suggest to take forensic auditor's career?
If you want to take forensics audit as a career, you need to go in for something known as a CFE. Start off with forensics examiners. See whether your likes are there for this particular field. I'm talking about typically from the CA perspective, not from the digital perspective. I will speak about the digital perspective in a bit. From a CA perspective, you need to see A, whether you want to do auditing, B, whether you want to do forensic investigation, and the certification for this is CFE, Certified Forensic Examiner. Certification that we have is CFSE, that is Certified Fraud Forensics Examiner. You need to first and foremost have a thought process for that. So that is gradually built up. Speaking about digital aspects or digital forensics, you first need to understand what is a compromise, what is a hack, what is an attack, how is that carried out. So for that, it is very essential that we understand the network bits of computers, what is a computer system, what are the various networking technologies that are used, what are the application technologies that are used in the current scenarios, current days, and how a compromise or a hack, typical hack, is carried out. So I would not use the term. Typically, the ethical hacking or the penetration testing is the foundation for digital forensics. Once you get a very good hold of penetration testing, then you can move on to digital forensics. You have various organization global certifications that are catering to these studies. You have SANS, you have EC Council, which cater to the need for these, be it your ethical hacking or be it digital forensics. These two are the leading certification bodies for ethical hacking as well as forensics analysis. Digital forensics. Yeah.
So thank you, Moliji. Thank you for an excellent presentation and covering all the questions. Thank
You're
you
most
so much.
welcome. The pleasure is always mine to address SIRC. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope my presentation helps you all in some way or the other. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. So we now move on to the concluding session on the concluding day. It's on blockchain. When we were discussing on the topic, we said let us try to have somebody who has got on hands-on experience or practical experience on blockchain. So we were able to identify Mr. Parag Jain. So Parag, if you can switch on your video, we can get to know your presence. Yeah, great. You can unmute yourself also, please.
Good evening. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Bishop, over to you, where we can introduce. You can introduce Parag, and then we take things forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you so much, Mauli Jain, ma'am, for the presentation. We'll move on to our next session now with Mr. Parag Jain, and I have the privilege of introducing him. He's the co-founder, the CEO, and chairman of Think Blink Solutions. He's a retail banker and a payments expert and an outsourcing industry in the P&L leader. He's a vast cross-industry transformation experience he possesses. And in fact, his specialization, I should say, is on business and P&L management, international business growth, and associated fields. He's an alumni of the London Business School across the world, including London, India, various Middle East, and across India as well, Dubai, various European cities, and in fact, Kuala Lumpur as well. So it's a very, very brief introduction. Thank you so much, Parag Jain sir, for joining us today. We're looking forward to your session.
Thanks for that intro, guys. I have to start by saying I can still see there are 176 participants on a Saturday evening. So I'm going to try and make this quick. I'm going to try hard to make this interesting. I did not know Jain Saab had put me as the last session on the last day of the Tech Conclave. I'm going to settle my scores with him offline.
Yeah, apparently there are good reasons for that. The climax always should be in the end, it cannot be in the beginning.
अरे बाप रे, आप और pressure बढ़ा रहे हो. No, but thanks for having me, guys. Introductions are always very misleading. We are a young company of execs who have worked all over the world and come back, and we're trying to make a difference. It was very interesting. I joined about 25-30 minutes back. It was very interesting to hear what Molly was saying about about digital forensics, data frauds, how our Prime Minister's Twitter account gets hacked, and the fact that she alluded to data privacy. And these are all things that we are touching upon. Hopefully, so that's the problem statement side of it, right? I mean, these are the things that are potentially at risk. These are the things we should, as people who manage data, critical data, we need to kind of be very cognizant of how to manage these risks. And we are hoping to fill let's say, bring one very important piece of a very large jigsaw to the table. So with your permission, Jain Saab, can I start with the presentation and then, yeah? Okay, you're able to hear me?
Yeah, we're able to hear you. You have got the presenter rights. You can start sharing the screen if there is the PPT.
Okay, yes, that's absolutely right. Thanks for reminding me.
The session was fantastic.
Oh, I'm glad. It's my job to make it happen on the last, like I said, last day, last session. It's the least I can do. Okay, so the first question, should I take it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a smart question. It probably comes from somebody who understands blockchain a little bit. So there are blockchains are of couple types, right? There are these public blockchains which run Bitcoin and all of these cryptocurrency. They are called public. They are completely unfederated. Anybody can be in the blockchain, and like they say, black sheep, right? Anyone can take over the blockchain through brute force, compute brute force. Again, it's technical, boring stuff. You guys, yes, it's possible to take over, but in blockchain implementations like ours, these are not public implementations. These are private implementations, right? Here, there is nothing unfederated. We know who the trust creators are. The only control that we exercise on our blockchain ecosystems is we decide who are the trust creating parties, right? And we don't decide it on the basis that, hey, I like ICICI, so he's a trust creator, but I don't like Punjab National Bank, so it cannot. There are some written rules within Chaintrail that any country we go to, any registered entity with some minimum capital or whatever, 8 years of existence can become participant as a trust creator. And then we make absolutely sure that we always keep maximum compute power, even technically. However, since these are known relationships, these are not unknown relationships, participation in the blockchain as a ecosystem as a trust creator is contracted. There is a contract that is signed in do's and don'ts. So there's a lot more control rather than just have a public blockchain and you don't know there are the Chinese on it, Nigerians, Americans, people from Mozambique, and you can't control it. That's never the case with a private blockchain. This is not because we are intelligent. That's how private blockchains work. So ours is also a consortium or a private implementation of the blockchain. So The second part of the question is, if after verifying, if let us say, and again, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, but I'm just taking a very bad example. If we bring ICAI in as a trust creator, also as a data creator, and if let us say that there was one black sheep within ICAI who actually got corrupted and issued a CA certificate to somebody who didn't actually pass the exam, to that extent, even God can't help. I mean, there is no system to prevent, to some extent, bad intent, right? So if someone wants to come into the system despite all of our checks and then starts issuing rubbish data, it becomes a garbage in, garbage out situation, right? But as a data interchange, we can't stand guarantee to the data. What we are guaranteeing is we verify who these data creators are. We of course do phenomenal verification for who the trust creators are. To that extent, it's near impossible to create rubbish data. Yeah. How far has blockchain technology started being used in our country?
Yeah.
Look, I have to say at the start, I'm a very Atmanirbhar Bharat guy, right? I really love everything that's happening in India. I've been back for 4 years after about 15 years outside. So the way I see changes, sometimes people who have just been for all the time don't see them, right? Like I'm amazed at how many changes are happening. But equally, I'm very unhappy with how slow some of the basic changes are happening. There is a chance that we are getting left behind. I mean, look at what China is doing with artificial intelligence and blockchain. Look at what Europeans are doing with consortiums. We are getting to a stage where now we are becoming more Atmanirbhar and saying, you know what, we won't wait for an American company to bring technology to us, we will create it. And I very proudly say that we are one such example. So blockchain has been talked about. Our late finance minister actually talked about it even in the budget speech last year. Or what is the year before last, I think. Prime Minister Modi has talked about it many times. The question is, India, we are still at a stage where we expect, it's a question of, we expect to be taken to the well and fed water, right? I mean, I think the point I'm making is, I think the paradigm is there, the ecosystem is there, and I think genuinely our government is extremely keen for businesses, organizations to start using technology like this. The state that I come from, our chief minister and and KTR, his son, who's our Minister for Information Technology and Urban Development, he's creating an entire blockchain district in Hyderabad. There's been so much push inside Telangana for adoption of blockchain. But we somehow, I think we stop short of expecting that government will do everything. Aise nahi hoga. So I request Jain Saab, the chairman, and Abhishek, that yes, ICI should start using blockchain. It should start with chain trade. And I say this very seriously that, if you think that this could be used in 2.0, take it. We will give it free for use, right? But we want to bring that technology. We want our balance sheets to never, ever globally be questioned for authenticity. We never want our, and year-end balance confirmation letters to be questioned. We never want our letters of good standing. We don't want our TRPs to be questioned, right? But that's not a conversation for today. So, early stage. I think we are on the cusp. I think leaders like Mr. Jain and very trusted organizations like ICI just have to kind of cross the line and try a very simple, low risk, no risk use case, which gives immense value to the users, right? When there is value, then the adoption happens. So I will work with ICI to make it happen. That's my commitment at no cost.
Yeah. In fact, as you rightly said, Parag, it's just matter of time. ICI will start using it because we have just had a self-service portal which is working for more than a year now. So just a matter of time to use this technology to see that trusted information gets available for everybody.
No, and I will personally work with you, Jain Saab, and create a POC on how, with that self-service portal, can we, without disrupting user experience, wasting anybody's time, asking for unnecessary money here and there, how can you actually enhance user experience and create more trust in the ecosystem? That's the promise I make to ICI. We'll make it happen. All right. why is blockchain tech not mandated with all entities with customer interaction which requires personal data so that it is only viewed and not shared, used commercially? I think the straight answer is because we are India, we are a free country, nothing can be mandated. That's the light answer. The serious answer is whoever has asked that question, hats off. It's the right question, right? It's not a question of mandating, but if it is so obvious, the benefits are so obvious, why shouldn't we be using it, right? Why should and we see this all the time, right? You go to magicbricks.com and browse some sort of one apartment in Mumbai, suddenly 18 brokers call you. Sab aapko Malad apartment chahiye, right? Are you looking for an apartment? Or you anything, right? I mean, there is just so much data leakage currently happening. It's almost, in my mind, like the chairman said, it's just a question of how to get these things going and started. It is not a question of if, it's a question of when, right? And I'm very, very happy, and I'm looking forward to the Personal Data Protection Act of India that is currently being scribed by, I think, a high-level committee inside the parliament. And, including ICAI, I might say, right, that we can be the leaders and adopt the change and take a vantage position as leaders, or we can follow once the law comes. But the straight answer is it has to happen. There is just no way. We are becoming so big, we are becoming powerful. But with that power comes the responsibility of managing our citizens, our businesses' data, but equally managing our clients and our counterparties' data. Imagine how much enterprise data Indian BPOs, KPOs are handling inside the borders of India. Imagine my auditor is handling my company's data, and we have some data so we have P&Ls running in Singapore, UAE. If we really have to make this Atmanirbhar story happen and create those 3 million export jobs in the knowledge space and then the manufacturing space, we have to plug these gaps. It just can't go on. And I genuinely think institutions like ICAI will really be at the vanguard of that technology change. Yeah. Do you want me to take that question you've highlighted?
Yes, please.
If the government starts using technology, they one person that can have access with all regulators. Is this correct? With all the if yes, it's not correct. We have to be intelligent in how we create the systems. And honestly, I don't want to be funny or disrespectful of the government, but we don't need the government to help us manage trust in data. All this thing of notarizing and all those days are gone. And if you see our today's, and I'm quite neutral, right? It's not like I'm a NDA fan or a UPA fan or whatever. But if you see what carefully we read and understand what our government is telling us today, very recently the government has issued a policy around NHDM, which is the National Health Data Repository, or whatever they call it, right? And Prime Minister Modi spoke about it on 15th August at the Red Fort. If you read that document, and it's my job to read it as the CEO of Thinking, so I have read it. Not everyone should read it, it's boring. The government very clearly states that we want to create a single data paradigm for health data for Indians. We don't necessarily want to be the single source of truth. So any citizen who doesn't want or trust the government to keep their data safe can go to a private player and subscribe to a repository that a private player might run. Of course, that private service might cost a little bit more than the government service, right? And if a citizen believes that the government will still do hanky-panky with my data, a citizen can opt out of NHDM. So you see, our government is already talking in a language, behaving in a way that they are unfederating control completely. So it's a long answer, but the bottom line is, yes, a chain trail type solution. We won't be the only ones. There'll be others who will come up. But these solutions are designed such that there is no single source of truth. And certainly we are not going to give the keys of our house to the government, not because we don't trust it, but our Prime Minister is saying maximum governance, minimum government. They don't want to hold those keys anymore. So why should we give it to them? We should know how to manage it responsibly.
Yeah, okay. I'll just add to this. There was a session on this, what is a personal data protection bill by one of the speakers. He told that they want to create a cell where if you say no, that I don't want to give access to these my data to anybody, just one regulator where things will happen. I think on those lines, whether blockchain will also be able to kind of help on this data protection.
Absolutely, because the instead of protecting the data, the rules can be protected using the blockchain, right? The regulator, because the governments are struggling. Like when we are speaking to the government in Malaysia, and I'll send you, Jensab, you can circulate it to everybody. There is a very cool video that the Minister of Innovation, Technology and Science of Malaysia shared of a POC that they created for COVID vaccine tracking in Malaysia that is entirely being done on Chaintrail blockchain, right? And that is a great example where the rule set is on the blockchain. It is being done so quickly and cheaply for the government. So you can set the rules, and blockchain is great for that. The regulator can use a blockchain to say that, bhai, Parag Jain wants his health record to not be on any system, certainly not with the government, but he wants his degree certificates and educational data to be here. And he is okay for a private secure storage of his company's financial data. Now, if you just keep expanding it to insurance, property ownership at institution level, property ownership at private level, how will the government track so many rules, right? It will become crazy. But a single blockchain platform that is ecosystemed in the entire country, you can just keep saying that, hey, this data I want to store this way, this data I don't even want to store, this data I want to take cross-border for verification, right? Data resident in India, and I should have spoken about it. If Chaintrail was there 10 years back when my son was born, he was born in Dubai. And then we lived in London, then in Malaysia, now here. So in his 10, 11 years of existence, he has already personal data in 4 different jurisdictions. But Chaintrail allows him, or a system like this will allow him to have a single view. He can combine all of that and send it to MIT, Massachusetts Institute and say, give me an admission. Because he is deciding. And for us to work with regulators to make those decisions, blockchain, in my mind, and it's a very biased opinion, I understand that, is the only way to do it cheaply and securely. Otherwise, we'll be looking at humongous Aadhaar-like systems. It's a great system, but the amount that the government spends on managing and keeping it secure is just phenomenal. It's not going to work in the future. Whether DigiLocker is working on blockchain technology, we would like it to. We are actually, if you Google us, we are one of the empaneled partners of DigiLocker by MITI, which is the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology of India at the central government level. But sometimes our government is also learning and maturing, right? So government is running a very basic DigiLocker service that's free, then inviting likes of me to do something, because we can't do everything free, right? We have to charge for a service. But if something is being given free, then people use it. So it should work on blockchain technology. The minister I've spoken to is keen, but they still haven't come to an agreement on how they'll commercially model it. There is some talk about that. Oh, so I'm myself a retail payments banker, and I can talk for 3 whole days on the next question. I'd suffice it to say that there are very easy ways, Nivedita, to create a very secure blockchain-based ecosystem for payments. The question is why? Today, you are able to have money in your bank, and literally at the ping of a phone, you can Google Pay it, UPI it. You can have a line of credit, which is called a credit card, and you can swipe your card in Sydney, and it can be authorized in less than 2 seconds out of a switch in ICICI Bank in India. The question is not, can it be done? Technology, everything can be done. The question is, what benefit will it generate? What incremental user experience will you generate by using blockchain in a payment ecosystem? Or if there is no better user experience, can you at least bring down the operating cost for a bank or the ecosystem? Those are the only 2 situations why new technology gets adopted. Either the user experience is better than it is today, or the cost of giving the same user experience is lower. Otherwise, there's no business case. So I'm still struggling across the globe many times on this payment ecosystem, but I'm very happy to have a conversation with you. If you have a use case that you want to discuss, I'm parag.jain@thinglink.com. What is the blockchain tech not mandate with? Why is with all entities asking for custody? I think you already answered this. misused and not shared or sold. Yeah, this is a big problem. But I don't think there's a technology problem. There's an intent problem. Of course, it can be fixed with technology. I think the first few steps have been taken in India. If you guys want, you should Google a solution that Microsoft has in partnership with, I can't remember who. I'm going to say Airtel, maybe, or Vodafone. They put in place a blockchain powered platform for do not disturb data. So literally, people can't call you if you're on that platform out of turn, and your data can't be sold, exchanged, and stuff. These are very, very preliminary shoots of the solution that is being emerged at this time, but long way to go.
Yeah, members will be put in recording later. Of course, few sessions which the speaker didn't want, we have not recorded. And the materials of this last session, blockchain, will be putting it maybe in a day or two once we get it from the speaker.
Yes.
But one last question, which I keep telling you, please correct me if I'm wrong. I still tell that blockchain is in primitive stage of evaluation, and it will take longer time to really put things into place. Is the statement right, or how many years think it will now take to get into the routine areas where people can make use of it very effectively, and it can become a day-to-day need for any user?
Mr. Chairman, that's a fantastic question, right? It's almost like looking into a crystal ball, but your question is bang on, right? Like this technology has so much hype and so much promise, but finally people like you who are leaders in the industry will say, when will it do something for me, right? Like what's really happening? There are two, and I'll keep it brief, but there are two aspects of this answer. There's a technology side. Purely the technology is, yes, even my assessment is it's little preliminary and it is going to undergo a lot of changes. So the way we think and see and work with blockchain today is certainly not going to be how it will work and how we will work with it and what it will do for us in 2 years time, in 4 years time, certainly in 6 years time. So the tech itself is undergoing a lot of transformation, right? The good news is that a lot of that innovation in this tech, with all, and no disrespect, but all the noise that has been created by the big firms, IT companies, technology companies, finally the biggest push for this tech is coming from companies like ours. And this is just not us, it's globally, right? It's the startups and the medium-sized companies who are driving the use cases. So it's not the best innovation, but it is very quick. So we learn from our mistakes and move it fast. The other aspect is the functional aspect, and there I think my answer very honestly, and this is not necessarily the answer you were looking for, but a lot of stuff is already happening in the blockchain globally, right? From complete digital identity in Estonia to elections in Sierra Leone to there was a announcement, Klang port, which is the third largest port out of Singapore after Singapore and Hong Kong, the KL port, has just decided to go complete blockchain on a platform that Maersk and IBM have created, right? So, and that is why when I started talking about India in the blockchain context, I sounded slightly negative that we are potentially missing the bus to an extent that we will then again be forced to become followers. We will lose the opportunity of creating our own solutions, and we will then also have to join the IBM solution, the Google solution, or some American company solution, right? And to that extent, we need leaders in organized institutions like you to take that jump with us and say that, hey, you know what? We are not going to completely expose things and take a big risk, but there are 3 use cases. Can I look at UDIN 2.0 with this? Can I create a very simple, low risk, e-signature based platform and experiment how financial statements will be issued? Because, and look at the visions of, sometimes people might think I'm crazy, but in 2008, our parliament went and legislated on e-signatures and digital signatures. And in 2020, we are still talking about how will this get adopted. It is upon us. Otherwise, the government and the parliament has already created a framework 12 years back on how we should use this digital technology and be paperless. But I have to say that, accountants, as you guys are still using so much paper, right? But the government told us in 2008, stop doing it. But and it's your customers who are, I mean, it's the same thing. I was asking my auditors and this, like, Parag, aap bolte ho, but sabko chahiye ki financial statement should be printed, stamped and filed. So as a community, we have to make that change. And I have seen this in India. And again, for people who might think that I'm just a dreamer and I'm very Atmanirbhar pro, but look at where India was on digital payments 4 years back. And look at where we are today. More than 1 billion transactions a month go through our digital platform, right? And our Prime Minister keeps talking about, and people think, "Arey yaar, ye kitni baar same," he says the same thing all the time. But it's a phenomenal change. Why shouldn't all financial statement and P&L data overnight transform into digital, verifiable, interchangeable, right? All it takes is for us to come together, work hard for the next 3 months, and we can get the ball rolling, right? It's that simple.
Yeah, thank you, Parag. In fact, we overshot our time by half an hour. It was all worth
a lot, yes.
It was all worth it, especially the Q&A where we could get a lot of answers from you, and we could also learn the way things are going. So I'm very sure that there are not going to be much blocks for this blockchain for the future.
Thank you so much, sir. And we want to work very closely with ICAI. We want to do this. One, because of our own selfish interest, but we want these Atmanirbhar solutions to really make the change that we think they can make. Yeah.
Yeah, Abhishek, over to you for the vote of thanks for the entire 3-day Tech Conclave 2020.
Yeah, thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to thank Parag, who gave a very lovely presentation. And blockchain definitely is an area where, despite multiple readings, some of us need more clarity. We're able to get that here, especially with the financial, inflection that he has given. So thank you so much, Parag, for the same. I'd like to thank. Thank you, Parag, sir. I'd like to thank all the speakers who joined in and were able to disembark their knowledge and park it with all of our participants who have joined and registered for the program. Every single person, every single speaker who came gave a very, very good job in a very short time that we had allotted, and they did an excellent job. And I must specifically thank a few people. Firstly, I want to thank Mr. Deepak Kumar from Chennai, CA Raju Khatri from Chennai, Shri Jayendran from Bangalore. He is a person who helped us arrange the CFO of Flipkart to come and join for the program. And of course, I would be remiss if I don't thank our own SIRC staff, Dr. Paramasivan, Uma Suresh, Monica Silva, and various others who have been supporting us. I'd like to also thank every single participant who have joined the program and actively engaged and made it a much more entertaining program. More than 300 participants have registered for the program, and it is a great success. And finally, I must definitely thank the architect of the program, our very own chairman, CA Dungarchan Jain. He is a technology person, and for many months we were discussing when we should have this program, when we should have it. And finally, he said, "Let us do it this month, Abhishek. I think it's the right time." And he is one who had, fully formed the program. Obviously, we are going to support him, and I was supporting him throughout. But the credit definitely goes to him, and it was a very successful program. So thank you so much, Chairman, for giving us this opportunity on these technological avenues where normally chartered accountants don't get that much exposure to. I'll also very quickly announce the next 2 programs. We have many more, but I'm just announcing the next 2 due to want of time since we have overshot. Please do register for the program on 13th of October. We have a program on TCS on supply of goods and the recent circulars. CA Girish Ahuja from New Delhi will be taking a session at 6 p.m. on 13th of October. And on 15th of October, we have a session on FAQs in tax audit. CA V Ramnath from Coimbatore will be speaking. We have circulated a Google form for you to ask your questions, and the questions will be taken up by the speaker along with the common issues being faced in the course of the tax audit. So, of course, we have many more programs, and just due to the overshooting of time, I'm going to refrain from sharing everything. I will share it definitely in the next program. Thank you all for making this a very successful program. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Thank you.
Yeah, and very importantly, do not forget to share your feedback. I'm just leaving the links again so that you can kind of put your views. And I will also take this opportunity to thank Abhishek, who has also always been a source of inspiration whenever we discuss as to how best we could kind of do it for SIRC and for our ICAI. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you all of you. Thank you. Right, Parag sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.